So we get to Williston, and we're coming out of the airport. I don't even know if I've told you this yet, Gary, or maybe I sent you a picture. We get out of the airport. We are in the middle of nowhere. And I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, this airport is just like nice airport, and then like just nothing. And we're walking to the rental car, and this truck drives past us, and this lady screams at the top of her lungs, Stevens! Oh my God. And the driver of the truck slams on the brakes. She, like, in one fell swoop, opens the door and runs to Chris. She's just like, I watch all your videos. What are you doing here? Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You got it.
That's the picture that I sent. I sent Chris or sent Gary. Yeah. She was so excited.
She was really excited. It was awesome.
Gary, I told Chris this, and I'll let you in on it. And it's a great segue into the episode today, but I'm feeling real good.
Why are you feeling so good?
Because I'm on steroids.
You're weight training?
He's bulking.
Trying to bulk up?
Bulk up.
Yes. Yeah.
He wants to just get shredded for once in his life. He just wants to be shredded.
For this kid, this new daughter, I want to have washboard abs.
You got to make a great impression. You get one chance.
Set you apart. And
Wait, what did you say, Gary?
It'll help set you apart.
I know. She'll be like
the comedy world, I guess. How many yoked up comedians are out there?
Oh, there's a few out there.
There's a few, but there's like specifically like one who got like super jacked during COVID. He did what like everybody like maybe wishes they would have done, and so now he's funny and hot.
He was using his time better than everyone else.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that what you're attempting to do, Adam, as well?
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. No. No. We're going to talk today. We're going to talk about a show that Chris and I did, but over the weekend, just before the show, I got a sinus infection and lost my voice. Like at one point, I called Chris and I couldn't speak at all. Like it was just gone. And so Chris and I were supposed to go to North Dakota on Saturday. I think I called you on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like,
here's what I heard. Chris. Sorry, what?
Chris. Hey, Chris, it's Adam.
It's like, oh gosh, we're off to a bad start.
Yeah. And it wasn't like I was playing a small part in the show. Like Chris and I were splitting time. So I was doing half an hour and so was he. And then we were doing a big game at the end. And so it was kind of like, would know anyone who fits this niche that could go to North Dakota tomorrow?
I was about to have an hour's worth of material.
Yep, that's right.
Would you have just used some Adam's material?
No, I was that
like I'm a cancer survivor, 37 years for free.
My wife Di and Luna, man, they're awesome.
How about my mom? Am I right?
Margot. I don't know. I was thinking I would just do the game by myself or something, and that could kind of help. I think the game originally came out of the idea of like, oh, what if I had to, I don't know. I don't remember where the game came from, but, I wasn't sure what I was going to do actually, but I was like, well, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so
thankfully didn't have to. Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't have to. So anyway, so welcome to the podcast. It's not a great introduction. Risk It for the Biscuit about a couple of guys Chris and I, who worked at a church, a steady job. I worked there for 15 years, Chris for 22 and a half years. And then we left about the same time pursuing a career in comedy. Chris is a actor and a comic, and I'm a stand-up and a writer. And we have along with us our good pal, the third member of the trifecta, our best friend.
The third biscuit.
Gary Hornstein.
Gary.
Best friend, And a great transition to the fact that Risk It for the Biscuit is brought to you by Northern Creative Video Production Work. That's Gary's company. You can check them out at northern.work for your video production, art, and animation needs. We're also brought to you by Looney Bin Comedy Club in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You can check out looneybincomedy.com, click on the Tulsa tab, and see who is coming to Tulsa, who you can go see. Today's episode is all about the fact that Chris and I just got back from a big show in, drumroll please, North Dakota.
North Dakota. It sounds like
Adam
a
and
bummer
Chris
to
did a show
you,
in
but it's
Hold
not.
on, let's try that. Hey, ask for that drum roll again.
Okay, yeah. Today's episode is all about how Chris and I did a show in, drumroll please, North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Okay.
Podcast is
All right.
being high tech. Yeah.
Wow. We love it.
Oh man, you're a real producer now.
Wow, look at this guy.
I got all these
Sound effects.
buttons.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. So should we speak to the elephant in the room if somebody's watching this, or should we pretend like it's not a thing?
I think we tell people that
Yes.
this is new.
Yeah, we're trying something new. We are filming this all in our separate homes via I don't know, a Zoom kind of app, and because any day now, my wife will give birth to our second daughter, Ira June, and so we thought, why don't we try to set this up that way we can, because it's a lot of setup and tear down whenever we do the podcast, and so this might help us just like stay on track and make it a little easier, because June's going to be a crazy month at the Bush house. I'm like, well, I thought I wasn't doing any work, but then I got another show, so limited work. Yeah, got to pay those bills. Got to pay those bills. So if you're watching this, you can see Gary.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Gary.
We'll have my face blurred up until that moment right there.
Blur your.
We should
like,
just do a home improvement deal where you had a little fence that
There's
you're
always
looking over the tub of. Something's always
my
obstructing.
we just put this little animation.
Yeah. Or no, my face is the mountain lion.
There
That's
you go.
in our Biscuit for the Biscuit logo.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, do you have like
You're the mascot.
Does it do like an Apple thing where like you can put like an elephant on your face or whatever?
No, I don't think they have features like that. But
Yeah.
maybe we can
Be
put some
amazing.
requests in.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so to set up, I always enjoy, like I like it whenever we do episodes that are about like, like what is a warm up comic or what is like comedy lingo. I think that's really fun, but I really like it whenever we get to talk about a show or an experience that we had and like catch people up to speed on that, and then also like you kind of learn about stuff about being a comic and an actor and in the process that sort of thing. So why don't we just start? Chris, this was your show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell us about it.
Oh, it was just a pastor friend had reached out and was wanting to do a comedy show in their town
Don't
of
say his name.
Williston.
Don't say it.
Oh, I would never reveal my sources. No, in Williston, Freedom Church in Williston, North Dakota, pastored by Jason and Bethany Winnis.
Great
They're
people.
fantastic, great people that we knew from Church on the Move.
Yes.
And so, that was kind of the connection there was through Church on the Move. He had been back in town and we just got talking about, he didn't realize I was originally from North Dakota. And so that was just kind of a connection point. And he asked me if I wanted to come.
You were
I'm like,
born in
heck
North
yeah.
Dakota?
I was born in North Dakota. Yep.
Okay.
So pretty close to where we did the show, a couple hours away from where we did the show.
And we were like 45 minutes south
From
of Canada.
Yeah, we were right up there by the Canadian
So
border.
far north.
You really do feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere because there's no
yeah.
trees. It's just rolling hills, and
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. I love it. It's my home,
It was
my homeland, but it's cool.
I took you to my homeland,
That's right.
Louisiana, to do a show years ago, and where I grew up, I love the people, but not as beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I
Shreveport
don't
is
want to say anything bad, so I'll just,
okay.
I'll be quiet.
So you're just.
I mean, Shreveport was just Shreveport.
It's rough.
It's a little rough.
Yeah.
Is Shreveport like more urban?
Or it's
just
it's
the people.
It's it's on the river, and it's a lot of casinos.
Yeah, there's a lot of casinos.
And it's kind of overrun by like that.
It kind of reminded me of Back to the Future 3 when there's kind of the alternate universe that Biff's place.
3
is it 2?
is when they 3 is the
3 is Old West. You're right. I'm sorry. 2. Yeah.
Wait, were you laughing at the Old
Biff's
West,
world?
Adam, or what you thought of in 2?
No, I was laughing at the fact that I knew he was talking about 2, and he's kind of right.
It's because there's like nothing else, and then there's just like casino, like this. It reminded me of like Biff's like big tower or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the nice thing, but everything else is like kind of. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it is. Yeah, it is kind of.
I don't want to talk ill.
What's beautiful about Louisiana is when you get out on the river and the lakes and the bayous. Like, it really is gorgeous, but that part is like Shreveport's got kind of a rough airport. So
I mean, I know Williston. I'm not originally from Williston, but Pastor Jason was telling us that when the big oil boom hit, it's still kind of going on, but there's not as many people up there as there were. It's just being flooded. It was originally like 10,000 people in this town, and it ballooned up to over 100,000 people in this town, and they didn't have the infrastructure to kind of like care for all these people. But he said it was like the Wild West, and he said there was just like every restaurant was basically like a strip club. It's like it was pretty crazy up there for a little while.
What do you mean every restaurant was a strip club?
Were you in the car when he just said there were strips, like everything was like just there was tons of strip clubs. Maybe that's the better way to say it than every restaurant. But the point was, it sounded like he was saying it was hard to find a restaurant that wasn't a strip club. Yeah,
there you go. Right. Yeah. And because it is such a wealthy city or town now, Chris and I were like, what is it? Like, we were like, the city's only like 40,000 people now, but they had an airport. We were just like, how crappy is this airport going to be? Yeah. It was like the nicest airport that I've like ever been in. It was just 4 gates, and it was like in the middle of nowhere. Like, you were like, when you were driving to it, there was just like pastures on each side, and then just this beautiful small airport. And I was when I left, I don't know if you're like this, Chris, because I left at a different time than you, but like I was like the only person in the line.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For security check.
Right.
Yeah. I was the only one too when I got there.
So it's a pretty new airport though.
Yeah. It's brand new. It's a couple years
because when did the oil boom happen?
Started in like
in the last 5 years.
Yeah. I think 07 or 08 or something like that.
Okay. So this gig, so you got asked to do this is fairly common, Chris, you got asked to do a comedy show, and then you actually got asked to preach on Sunday morning.
Yeah, to share my story. Yeah.
Share your story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but doing a comedy show, like, for one, it's not fun to do a comedy show by yourself because you got to warm up the crowd and then also be the headliner. And so you asked me if I would go, and like, we'd do an hour together.
Yeah. Yeah. It was awesome. That's what we did. It was wonderful.
And it was like a great setup because the church is smaller. It's like the auditorium is maybe a little over 100 seater, like about 100 seats. And it was dark in there. Yeah. And like the stage was small, and
it was perfect.
It really was. It was a great for a comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was wonderful. We had a blast. The crowd was into it. And it just felt really good to do stand-up comedy in a place that wanted to hear stand-up comedy and was expecting to hear stand-up comedy.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I've
always
been doing a lot of banquets, and it's like
So at no point there was never salad that came out.
there were no salads served,
no.
dessert.
No.
It was just comedy. It
In
was
fact,
great.
they sold tickets to it,
Mhm.
and when you got there, your ticket included like popcorn and a drink.
Yeah.
So it was a fun event for them. Like they just walked in and get their treats and then go sit down and yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he said they sold almost all the tickets. Like they only had 100 tickets they could sell or 110, and they had sold almost all of them.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's like this. Is that the size of the auditorium?
Yep, about.
Mhm.
Yeah, about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But
so
their
the
peop-
pastor
the people were so kind. Pastor Jason and Bethany were so kind. Shout out to Jen for taking care of us. I mean, it
Oh,
just
yeah.
was a wonderful experience through and through.
Yeah. They're so hospitable. It's so nice. Like
Mhm.
they are churches, just like Chris and I arrived at the same time and we both had a rental car. And then like we each had a hotel room and there was like, they had asked us about like snacks and stuff. And
Snacks.
so I walked in and there was like snacks that I liked. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so I did. So the pastor came out, told one joke that was very funny.
It was a good joke.
It was a good joke. I don't know
Did
if
you
you
guys
heard
help
it.
him with it? He just came up with it.
No,
No, he just did it.
I mean, I would imagine
Misdirection.
maybe it's a joke somebody else, like maybe it's a kind of a common joke. I just hadn't heard it before, or if he came up with it. And then he said, he said, well, how do you want me to introduce you? And I said, I'm going to write it out.
Mhm.
And Chris said I was being overbearing, but I
Did I
said,
say that?
I
Did you say that in front
I
of the
didn't say that.
pastor?
No,
No,
you sent a text. You're like, sorry that we're being.
I
so
said I
specific.
was being that. I
Oh,
said
okay.
I'm sorry for over directing because I was like
Oh, okay.
telling him that he should tell his audience that he and I are friends, and
The
that
me
we're
and you.
not. Well, all of us that we're all friends.
Yeah, okay,
Like
yeah.
that we're friends with Jason, so it's not just like some random comedians that are showing up.
Right.
I just think that makes a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. So I was just like, say that this guy's got a dry bar special that's coming out. He tours around the country. Give it up for Adam Bush. I was like real specific. I was like, say Adam Bush last, because they'll clap. They'll know to clap, and like sometimes people don't do that.
Yeah.
And so I came out, and I had barely gotten my voice back, and I was just like, I mean, I don't know if I can do that impression, but I was just like, how's it going?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was just like,
It had gotten to the point where you could at least put a little bit of personality into your voice, where before it was just like, it was pretty bad.
yeah, it was, yeah. There were a couple of jokes I couldn't do because I couldn't make high sounds because it was
Oh,
so
I just
deep.
remembered what I was planning on doing. If you couldn't do it, I had the idea of not using your jokes, but using the idea of keep it or kill it.
Oh,
Because
that
I
was
have
great.
I have a bunch of random jokes that I could use for something like
Yeah.
that. It
For the
just to fill
listener,
some
keep it
time.
or kill it is when I write brand new jokes, I write them on a card and then I just read them straight and let the audience decide if we keep it or kill it. It's a fun thing. And
Yeah, it's like just a fun little segment.
it's a fun little segment. And it's a great way to try out a new joke. And a lot of comics really hate it when I do it, but some love it. Some comics hate it, not a lot of comics. So, and then, so I did 30 and it was great. I definitely felt like I was warming up the crowd, but it was going well. I did some cancer material. I did have a lady come up to me afterwards and say that she has cancer now, but she did say that she really liked it.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of learning how to navigate that. And then I got to watch your set, Chris, and it was great. It was one of the best sets I've ever seen you do.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was fun. I
feel
had
like
some
you had
news.
home court advantage, just being back in North Dakota.
I did. I mean, I had written a bunch of North Dakota stuff just to kind of open with, that I thought would probably land pretty well, and it did fine. Yeah, it was pretty good. I wasn't sure how if they would be offended by it. I didn't think they would, and it turns out they were not. So everybody seemed to be able to laugh at themselves, and yeah. So kind of poked fun at North Dakota just to try to find some common ground, and I think me being from North Dakota obviously helps season those jokes too. Just helps you feel like we're laughing together, I'm not poking fun right at you or whatever.
So your Adam's cancer is your North Dakota.
Yeah. I'm going to be touring all over North Dakota with those jokes.
Chris had one of the jokes you had that I thought was really funny is you're like just talking about how much people work in North Dakota. Because we did our show on a Saturday night at 7, and I asked the pastor, why not make it at 6? And he's like, people have to get off work. I was just like, oh, people are like, they just work so much. And you made a joke about like, what did you say? Like, come vacation in California.
Oh, I was talking about how
in New York.
different like tourism ads for different states are always like, discover Wyoming, find the adventure in Nevada. And like North Dakotas are like, get a job in North Dakota. Toil in the Peace Garden State.
Yeah,
What's the what state?
The Peace Garden State.
The Peace Garden.
The Peace Garden. There's a garden.
They have a garden
on the border of Canada, North Dakota, and there's a bunch of flowers and stuff. It's a big thing, and they call it the Peace Garden, and it's supposed to be, I think, a token of our peace, our treaty with Canada.
Okay, that's what held Canada back.
That's where it is. It's like, hey, just remember, we got a garden commemorating our love for each other and mutual respect. And
have you been there?
North Dakota got named that. I did when I was a kid. I don't remember much about it, but
I mean, is it actually something significant?
I mean, it's there still.
Okay. Come to this Peace Garden. It's here.
It's still here. I just think it's funny that that's the slogan for the state when it's only halfway in the state. It's like, it's like in Canada. It's like between Canada and the United States. I don't know.
I wonder what that would be like for Oklahoma.
What's the Oklahoma slogan?
I don't even know what our slogan is.
I don't know. What's on the license plates?
It used to say
Oklahoma is okay.
I think it is say Oklahoma is okay.
Okay. That's Oklahoma. It's okay.
It's all right.
I mean, I do love Oklahoma, but it's kind of true. It's kind of okay.
It's okay.
Like, I mean, comparatively.
In some ways, yeah.
How's the weather? It's okay.
But it was great. We had a great time, and I'm trying to think of what was funny.
Oh, and then we did a game. This was unique. You were like, and Gary, you were asking him, like, did he have home court advantage? I thought of it more like just him being at that church. Just like the church world was kind of home court advantage.
At a church.
Yeah, at a church.
And like Jason, the pastor, liking Chris, and like, that's a big deal. And then like, it's a small town, so things like this don't happen.
Yeah.
Like, even though they have a lot of money, no comedy is happening in wherever we were,
Williston. Yeah.
Wilson. But
my thought was just I wanted to create a space to where we could interact with the audience more, especially because it's going to be a smaller group. And so I just feel like anytime you can kind of break down those walls and just have interaction with the people in the room, I thought, if we did like a trivia game or something, it might just give us some opportunities to joke around with the audience and joke around with each other. That was the other thing. It's like being together on stage. I thought, we could probably have some fun.
And we made a lot of jokes.
Yeah, it was great. Adam's so good at making fun of me in a really appropriate, funny way.
Yeah, we basically, Chris just came up with a bunch of North Dakota questions, kind of trivia. One thing that was awesome was we gave out 4 prizes. It was 4 Steven Stevens t-shirts. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I did not open the podcast with this.
Oh, right.
Sorry. We gave out 4 Steven Stevens t-shirts, and they were all large. So it was just like, you didn't have an option. I can't believe I didn't start the whole podcast with this. So we get to Williston, and we're coming out of the airport. I don't even know if I've told you this yet, Gary, or maybe I sent you a picture. We get out of the airport. We are in the middle of nowhere. And I'm just like, this is crazy. Like this airport is just like nice airport and then like just nothing. And we're walking to the rental car and this truck drives past us and this lady screams at the top of her lungs, Stevens! Oh my God. And the driver of the truck slams on the brakes. She like in one fell swoop opens the door and runs to Chris. She's just like, I watch all your videos. What are you doing here? Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You got
If you're
it.
watching, that's the picture that I sent. I sent Chris or sent Gary. Yeah. She was so excited.
She was really excited. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, I can't believe I'm standing right here in front of you.
That was wild.
From her perspective, that is pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah. That's got to be crazy. Which is crazy. I don't know what it is about North Dakota, but the last time I was in North Dakota, my cousin had passed away. Horrible. But we were at the funeral, and they asked me to say a few words at the funeral, and so I got up and I spoke. And after the fact, my cousin said that he met a girl that was like, why is Steven Stevens speaking at this at this funeral? And I just thought, oh my gosh, that had to have been so uncomfortable for her. Of like,
so it'd be so weird.
It's this really sad thing, and then to see me get up and share it, she's like, Steven Stevens. So, anyways,
I bet if there's
I guess I'm a big deal. Yeah, that's what I need is a heat map. I guess
North Dakota's pretty hot.
I guess there's more people in Tulsa, in the Tulsa surrounding area, than there are in the entire state of North Dakota. And the fact that the last two times I've been to North Dakota, I've been recognized as bizarre to me, but whatever.
Well, the word's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they crazy.
I was just like, the lady left. She got in her car and left, and I just looked at Chris and I was just like, why are you and I not going on tour? Why don't you want to do this? I think people out there know you. So, but hey, last two trips we've taken, Chris, somebody has recognized you.
That's true.
At the airport, specifically at the airport. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I don't know what the ratio is or what it. It's funny. I feel like when I travel, I get noticed way more than when I'm just around town. I got recognized in Silver Dollar City. By lady. But
maybe just see you all the time here and they don't care.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be it. So anyway, and it was awesome. Fun. So I will say the end of the show, it was awful for me. When my ear got clogged up. I couldn't hear. People were talking to me afterwards, and I was just like, all I could hear was me in my head, and I would talk, and I'm like, am I screaming at people? And I was just like, I gotta get out of here. And so that was really unfortunate.
Yeah.
And because I lost my voice, I had a show the next night at the Looney Bin. I was headlining, and I had to call in a ringer and not. I had found out at that point. I had found out that I had a sinus infection, and I wasn't getting better, and our baby's going to be born any day now. And they were like, "If you don't get better, you can't come to the hospital, or you can't come into the delivery room." And so I was just like, "All right." North Dakota was my last show before the baby, and the club was super cool with it. So
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And, but I'm doing better now, but it was great.
Good.
And then Chris shared his story on Sunday and you said it went great.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was really fun to, be able to talk with different people and there's several different people that said my story really resonated with them. And that was the whole thing. The challenge with my story is I think it's probably just kind of unique in the sense of not everybody wants to be a performer or actor or whatever.
Yeah.
But we all have gifts and things that we've probably devalued and don't appreciate. And so that's kind of the whole point, is to try to get people to, discover or rediscover the gifts that they have so that they can, bring heaven to earth. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So, hey, if you're listening to this and you're a pastor or you work at a church and you want to have Chris and I come out, hit us up, riskitpod@gmail.com. We would love to. They're some of our favorite gigs.
Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. It was a blast.
Yeah. So much fun. All right. Well, I think that's the end of this episode.
Okay.
Is anybody... What a terrible ending. What a terrible low. 'Cause your kids are about to come in the house, aren't they, Chris?
They will, yeah. I haven't heard the bus yet, but I'll be able to hear the bus and then I could tell you. But
all right, quick word from our sponsor, Looney Bin Comedy Club.
Yes.
No, Looney Bin Comedy Club in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You can check out their headliner lineup at looneybincomedy.com. Click on the Tulsa tab. Guys, I've been helping the new owners. Shout out to Mason Thatcher. I've been helping them find just look at the comics that I love and that are great in the country who can come to the Looney Bin. And we're booking. We're in the middle of booking some great comics, and we have booked some great comics. And I'm very excited about it. I know I'm performing there in July and in October. But if you want to check that out, go to looneybincomedy.com, check out the Tulsa tab, and then you can see who's coming up. And then just a couple of things. You can buy your tickets online, but a couple of things. Wednesday night is service industry night. Also, Wednesday night is open mic night. So before the show, they do local open mic. So you get to see some up-and-comers around town who are really funny. Some of my funny friends, I pop in every once in a while. And you can get, if you're a service industry worker, bartender, wait staff, restaurant management, and then first responders. Call the club, and you can get a free or discounted ticket, but you got to call. And then Thursday, same thing. If you're a lady for ladies' night.
Ladies' night.
Call up the club. And get a free or discounted ticket. looneybincomedy.com.
Jeez, it sounds like I need to stop by on ladies' night.
Stevens approved.
Sounds like could be a good opportunity to meet some people. So just think about that. God. You know what the Looney Bin's doing though? Seriously, Looney Bin doing they're rising and grinding. Adam, they're rising and grinding. They are killing it.
That is true.
And they're doing some new stuff. They're doing an awesome job. They're changing some things. And so if you've been before and you've been like, not a great experience, hey, come back out, give the Looney Bin a try again.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of mentioned it, but they're under new ownership now.
Yeah.
Fresh ownership. And the guys are great. Yeah, they own it. They're awesome. And so they want to do some big things in Tulsa. I was going to say that this doesn't have to do with the Looney Bin as much, but I told Di that I was just trying to crush a set the other day. Mm-hmm. And she was like, Chad says crush.
I do.
MLM Chad says crushing it.
Yes, you're absolutely crushing, okay? You are crushing the passive income game, okay?
But it's common in comedy to say crushing it. I've
always thought it was killing. I've never crushing. I heard
killing is a big one. But when we were interviewing Dustin Nickerson,
I was going to say, I've heard Dustin.
Your job, get out there and crush. And so now I'm at this. Now when I say it doesn't feel as comedy centric as it feels like multi-level marketing now.
I'm sorry.
Adam, you're becoming the very thing you hate the most.
There it is.
No, I don't like it. I'll just stick with killing it.
Yeah. My girls are about to walk in here, by the way.
Okay. Why don't we do this? I'll do an outro. And I don't know when this episode is airing or whatever. I might have another kid or not. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what's going on. Probably will because we're like from the recording of this podcast, we're like 7 or 8 days away.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Well, hey, we can record the next one in the hospital.
That'd probably be good.
Just sitting
Di
next
in
to
the
Di,
background,
nursing.
Yeah, she could be a special guest. Yeah, I think that'd be great. Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. We hope you liked it. We hope you just enjoyed the content, but also maybe you learned something. And so, if you would, the best thing you can do is share our podcast with a friend and comment on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. And then, of course, you can always follow me at Hey Adam Bush. Chris is Chris Munch Comedy.
Chris
and
Munch
then
Comedy.
Our good pal Gary at Northern Creative is northern.work on Instagram. And if you want to send us an email, riskitpod@gmail.com. And if you're in the Tulsa area, August 26th, I'm opening for Dustin Nickerson at the Bricktown Comedy Club. And you can get tickets at dustinnickerson.com. It's a 13 and up ages show, family friendly, clean show. It's going to be a great show. Steve Rogers is going to be on that show. He's a great comic who's been on Colbert. Captain America. Yeah. So it's going to be an awesome show. So make sure you come to that show if you're in the Tulsa area. And any parting words, Gare, now that we see your face?
Nope.
Oh, man. So good.
I got nothing to say.
Oh, Gary.
All right. Love you.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching and listening.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks, North Dakota.
Okay. So we got a little bonus thing here. After we ended the podcast, Chris's girls, twin girls, Annie and Ella, they walked in. Please tell us who you are and your age.
I'm Annie. I'm 16.
I'm Ella. I'm also 16.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you guys are twins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And a big fan. We've heard you're very big fans of the pod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
big fan.
Yeah. Chris told me that I uploaded like a clip that didn't have an ending on it. And he was just like, we would like to know the ending, please. So,
Yeah.
We were very mad about
Yeah.
that.
I
It was a
just
sleepless night.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. But your father was telling us recently that for the end of school, you guys decided to trade or to swap. How did this go about?
We swapped classes in second hour. That way we could see if we could trick, because my cousin's in Ella's second hour, and so we wanted to see if we would trick him, and it didn't work.
So it was just a prank for your cousin, not the whole class.
Well, I
Basically,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah. No one noticed.
no one else noticed.
This guy from that class the other day asked me if I would ever switch with my sister, and I was like, maybe. I don't know, though.
But you already had.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, but
so we tricked him.
How did
Somebody
you like
said-
lying?
yeah.
I felt terrible. I was shaking. I was in her class, and they were like taking pictures with me, and I was just like, I didn't know what to do.
Did you change anything about your appearance to try to trick them?
Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to wear, because I wear more makeup than Ella does, and she wanted me to wear like no makeup, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So I still wore makeup, but I put a bunch of makeup on
Yeah.
Ella to make
And
her.
then Annie has a middle part, and I have the
Oh,
side
yeah.
part, so I switched my hair down the middle.
And I did mine for the side, but then once my cousin figured it out, I switched it down the middle, because I wasn't as what's the word?
Competent?
No, it was like I wasn't as what's the word when you're
Attractive?
like what?
Sorry. That's not what I meant. That's not-
You look way better with the middle part.
no.
No, I wasn't as loyal to the
Oh, just to the
committed. I wasn't
Oh, yeah,
as committed to
sold
the
out.
yeah.
the
the
switch.
trick.
Yeah. Ella was.
Yeah, I was committed.
But
Like
No
for the
one
whole
noticed,
day?
so.
no, it's just for
Oh, okay.
second hour.
Just for part. Okay, so
No.
it's semi.
We literally had like maps. I was like, you're going to walk in, go straight, and then turn, and your seat's going to be right there. And these are all the people around you. They're all my friends, so don't.
Yeah. Well, not true friends, because none of them noticed that she wasn't there. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
yeah, good. That's probably
Yeah.
good.
Her friends.
Do you plan on trying this when, one of you gets a boyfriend?
I would like to, but I think it'd be kind of sad if he didn't notice.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of scared. Or
It
I
would
would.
be a true
Or like, what
test.
if he I don't know, like tries to like hug her or something like that, and it's just
Or worse, tries
Yeah,
to
hugging's what
Well,
you need to
yeah,
be careful
that
about.
would. Yeah. Yeah, that would be awkward. Actually,
actually I don't really feel like it today.
Chris, I need you to work with your girls on just like stretching out the tension, because I asked them like what they did with the switch and they told me it didn't work so fast.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
We'll keep up with the suspense.
It's poor story. It's poor story. It's not your fault, girls. It's poor storytelling teaching from your father. It's poor leadership.
It
on your
is.
part.
That's true.
Yeah.
I've tried to
Do better.
help them with their stories, but
Well, I'm still proud of you. Chris would never have tried anything like that.
That's very true.
that's
Yeah.
probably true.
I'm proud of him for letting you, because he said that you asked his permission and he was cool with it. I was actually
Ella
surprised.
did.
asked his permission.
I
was
asked
about-
for permission.
I wasn't gonna.
Okay.
I wanted to ask the teachers for permission too, but she didn't let me.
Yeah.
Oh my word. You are your father's daughters. Yeah. Okay, everyone. I'm pulling a prank. I just want to make sure everyone's cool with this prank.
It really was.
You guys good with this? You're like my 4-year-old daughter who's just like, all right, Dad, go outside, and then when you come back, I'm gonna scare you.
That's funny.
All right. Well, to wrap this up, what's the moral of the story? What did you learn from this?
Don't switch with your sister.
No, it was a fun. I thought it was fun.
I was
Wow.
terrified.
Okay.
Moral of the story: don't tell your teachers that you're gonna switch.
Did you tell me?
That's a terrible moral. I don't know.
What's that?
What's the
Okay,
moral
we're
of the
gonna-
story?
All right. Chris, your dad's going to work with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
come
set up a
back.
meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. There'll be a part 2. We'll have you guys back on the pod, and then we can talk about it from there. All right. All right. Thanks for being our special guest today.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by the Risk It for the Biscuit studios.
Oh,
yeah.
slash our kitchen.
All right.